Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Wow, that's wonderful. So it's really great to see such a huge crowd in this meeting room. So welcome all to NITK's 180th meeting and MCC Toastmasters Club's 240th meeting. I, Toastmaster Bhanu Prakash, have the privilege to welcome you all here. For the benefit of everyone, let me tell the rules of the Toastmasters meeting. So we'll keep our mobile phones switched off or in silent mode. I'll give 5 seconds of time. Please do that. Thanks. We'll refrain from speaking about sex, religion, and politics. Also, we'll enter and exit when no one is speaking or when there is an applause.
So I will be speaking about missions of our Toastmasters. So Toastmasters provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to learn to develop communication as well as leaderships, which results in greater self-confidence as well as self-growth. So next we move on to our POs, TM Smriti. First is giving small changes. So a very good evening to everybody present here. The idea of social responsibility or having a responsibility towards society is not a new idea. Basically, it's been existing since centuries. It's been existing since the founding of mankind itself, wherein there have been people who have been strong and weak, wherein this idea of have and have nots have existed. The idea of social responsibility has always been there from that time. The thing that we always think about when it comes to social responsibility is some form of, let's say, help or some form of being able to uplift the person from the position that they are in. And I think in a way Toastmasters does that, because if you ask me how, the initial idea of how Ralph C. Smedley started out, if you go back and check the history of Toastmasters, you can see that he came with the idea to empower the youth moving forward, to build their confidence. And he did that in such a way that it was a volunteer-based organization. So that is a social responsibility that he created. Knowingly or unknowingly, he created that kind of an environment for people to grow and thrive in. And that system has been so successful that it has outlasted his life. So I think social responsibility today is a very, very happening topic, because there was a time when India opened its doors to modernization and globalization, that money did take over. Having a better life did take over for a point of time. But now that we are in a position where we have actually built our lives to a level where we can think about somebody else, the idea of being responsible to the entire society is back. And I think this is one method of doing this, and there are multiple methods of giving back to the society or ensuring that the society grows along with us. That I'm proud to be a part of this, and I hope you guys also kind of learn a lot from this. And I would like to give it over to my other presiding officer to take over from here.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Energy. What is this MCC NITK energy? I can't hear. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So how are you all doing this afternoon?
Slightly sleepy, but hoping for.
4 on 10.
Yeah.
4 on 10. So by the end of this meeting, I hope we all get you to 10 on 10. Are you excited for this linkers meeting between NITK and MCC?
Yes.
So MCC Toastmasters Club was started in 2016 by our teacher coordinator Sumita ma'am with the help of her brother. So I ask you this question: do you think social responsibility is important?
Yes.
How important? Here, or here? Here, right? So all of you do contribute to the society in general. Like, from it starts by not throwing the garbage on the street but throwing it in the dustbin, or planting a tree, or even using a EV for that matter, or using public transport. So how many of you came by public transport here today? So all of you contributed to the society today. So let's hear it for all of you. How many of you, do not throw the garbage or something on the road but use a dustbin to throw it? Again, clap to all of you because you contribute to the society. So with this, I declare meeting number 240 of MCC Toastmasters Club open. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our area director, Toastmaster Sakshi Sanjay Talreja.
Thank you, presiding officer. My name is Sakshi and I'm a member of both the clubs. So, thank you.
So both of us are, I guess, honored that area director, we can call the area director as our home club. Something like this. Next, we have another guest present with us, that is Toastmaster Saurabh. Can you please come and...
Thank you, presiding officer. Good afternoon, everyone. Most of you might not know me, but my name is Saurabh Suraj. So I was a member of Toastmasters a year back. Then I did not renew my membership. But I was part of Toastmasters Bengaluru. You guys must have heard of the club by any chance. So I was invited by a wonderful presiding officer, and of course I came to witness the speech of the wonderful area director, Sakshi Singh Talreja. Sanjay Talreja. Everybody gets confused over the name. But I'm looking forward to a wonderful meeting. All of you look like you're so filled with energy. By the way, I am a college pass out. I passed out in 2022. It's already been 1 year into my depressing work life. So looking forward to seeing you over there as well.
Now, who are the two people or one person who comes after the presiding officer? Who take over the meeting? Team. Okay, there's one more guest with us. Yeah, can you please come and introduce yourself?
Sure. Can I do it?
Yeah, sure.
I am Shubhito and I am part of the IT fraternity. I have a few companies of my own as well. So thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And let's not forget our division director of Division D4, that is Toastmaster Meera Shantiram. Can you hear it, please?
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so I would like to call upon the TMODs or the Toastmaster of the Days. So as it's a linkers meeting, we have two people coming up on stage. One is from NITK and the other from MCC. So first I would like to introduce the one from NITK. She is Atmika Bhatt. She is a communication enthusiast who loves to word every step of the way. She is passionate about liberal arts, automobiles and volunteering, and she enjoys cooking and eating home cooked food. So can we hear it for her? And the other person is from Mount Carmel Toastmasters Club. She is a third year BBA student who loves to gym and who loves to explore the world. So can we have it for Toastmaster Chandana Priya? Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Smriti, for the lovely introduction, which I didn't give, but yet you added something else. Okay, I'll hand over the stage to Atmika for explaining the brief of our role as TMOD for the day.
So as already explained, the role of a TMOD is basically to be the thread of the entire meeting. So between all the things that are happening up and down, we'll be stepping in and letting you know what's going to happen next. So our theme for today is social responsibility, making a difference in society. And I request Toastmaster Chandana to take it forward.
Okay, so as Toastmaster Atmika and Toastmaster Smriti said, social responsibility is something that every human must carry in him or her, okay, or other genders. So, social responsibility is something that would you as a human make a difference in the society. How you would come out as a good human being, how you would treat others and how would you treat your co-workers, your college mates, your classmates. So it's more than what it is. It's not just picking up garbage. It's not just using public transportation. No offense, Toastmaster Smriti. It is about treating the human, being a human yourself.
You know what, Toastmaster Chandra, I think I can help you out here. Because as she said, though yes, what Toastmaster Smriti said, it starts from there. But it's a lot about helping the person next to you. So an ex-colleague of mine, he was a very shy person, would not really mingle with other people. And you would never consider bringing him out of his shell as a social responsibility. But as a person who's grown up in a very reserved home, he never thought, mingling with friends or having a really fun time or even just exploring the world a big deal. So a lot of people around him went through him, broke through that shell, climbed a big great wall of China to actually get him out and realize that the world is a fun place to be in. So these kind of things, I'm sure you might have such examples in your life. You might know a cousin or an aunt or some person who's not really in the society. And when a whole bunch of people get around him and bring him out of the shell or bring her out of their shells and realize that the world is a beautiful place, that is also a kind of social responsibility.
Social responsibility differs. The meaning of social responsibility differs from one person to another. It might be one for me, one for Ananya, one for Prakash, and it's different. The meaning is different. Okay, it's very essential. It's a very essential part of life, and it helps to respect one another. Okay, we'll discuss more about this in the meeting. But now let's start off with our sessions.
So, as any Toastmasters meeting, our meeting is divided into 3 parts. The first part is the prepared speeches, the second is table topics, and the third is general evaluation or the complete evaluation of the entire program. I request Toastmaster Chandana to introduce and invite our general evaluator for the day.
Sorry, I didn't hear the general evaluator part. So, the general evaluator, he's working as a Silicon Validator engineer at Texas Instruments, loves languages, food, and all about meeting new people. Currently serving as the Division D Director of District 92. Let's welcome our general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Veera.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters of the day. Very good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Great. It's wonderful to be here. Is there someone who's waiting? Please. Welcome. Alright, so as you all know, as the general evaluator, I shall be evaluating the entire meeting's proceedings right from the beginning till the end and every single role taker who is coming up on the stage. And today's meeting is such a special one because we have a room full of people, vibrant role takers who are all set for having a wonderful Saturday evening. So I'm excitedly looking forward to the meeting. So in order to help me do the job of general evaluation in a detailed way, we have a great set of role takers called Tag L role players. So let's quickly have our tag team introductions. So first off, I'd like to welcome our timer for the day, Toastmaster Ananya from MCC, to explain her role as the timer.
I'm the timer for the meeting, and I will be calculating all the timers, all the times for the both the prepared speeches, the table topic sessions, and the evaluation, and also I will include the TMOD timings as well as the press signing office.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ananya. Next up, I'd like to introduce our counter for the day, Toastmaster Vishesh from NITK Toastmasters Club.
Vishesh is not here.
Okay, Toastmaster 1, please.
Okay, thank you, General Evaluator. So I'll be the counter for today. So my role is to note down the crutch words like and there, and also the filler words like, so, right, and well. So and also the short and long pauses. So I'll note these down and then I will give the report when General Evaluator asks for it. Thank you, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster 1. And next up, one of my favorite roles of all time, the grammarian for the day, and we have our very dynamic Toastmaster Suparna as the grammarian. So over to you for explaining.
Hi, good evening once again. Grammar is the queen of your language, the queen of how you talk to the whole world. So I'll be taking a note of both the good and the bad usages, and obviously the good usages will be highlighted a little more. Thank you.
Of course. Do we have a word of the day today?
Catalyst. I'm so sorry. The word of the day is catalyst, and I would expect everybody to use this. It is in junction with the topic of the day.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Suparna. Last but not the least, let's quickly hear from our listener, as in what our listener's role is. Toastmaster Ishika.
Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Ishika. I'm being called as mushroom also, but I don't have mushroom today on my head. So it's like I'm the listener for the day, and I'll be listening throughout the meeting. I request everyone to please listen. Please have your ears on all the speakers, all the evaluators, and each and every one in the meeting. And the rule of the session will be mentors, speakers, and evaluators cannot answer to the question.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And that brings us to the closure of the introduction of the tag and role plays and the little evaluator. Before I hand back over to the Toastmasters of the day, I just have one little tip for the day, today's meeting. In general, whenever we are thinking of writing speeches, we might be thinking, okay, what am I going to write my speech on? What is the speech title going to be? Or what is the theme going to be? We might always get stuck. So one thing that has always helped me is just think of things over a coffee table, whatever you love to talk with your friends, which you can talk about so passionately over and over, on and on for hours and hours. It could be anything and everything. There is no dearth of topics in the entire world. You can just go grab one, and the one which you feel so happy talking about on the stage, which you feel like, okay, I can just close my eyes and blindly go about it without any preparation. Bring up topics like that. It can be anything as silly as recent anime that you watched or anything that you love. So go for it. Think of themes that you are happy to speak about and go rock your upcoming speeches. With that, I wish all the very best to all the role takers today, and back to you, Toastmaster Chandra and Toastmaster Atmika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vila, for explaining your role as CG and introducing the role takers and the tag team too. Coming back to the theme, we were talking about social responsibility, right? So as I was telling, social responsibility is more than what we think. It is about respecting each other as humans. I have a small story. It's my own personal story. Like I had been to, you guys know Milano ice cream parlor, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we all love ice creams. Milano is the one. So yeah, I've been to this Milano ice cream parlor with my aunts and my family basically. And there were like a bunch of girls who walk in with small clothes, okay? Basically, my aunt's mindset, small clothes. So they started, my aunts started laughing out loud. I've been like telling them, no, this is not right. What you're doing is not right. They're like, what do you know? I'm like, what do you know? Right? What do you know? I know. I'm the one who's traveling around. I'm the one who's going to college. Right? So this is not right. But yet they started laughing, and those girls felt very, very, very uneasy. I just did not keep quiet. Though they're my aunts, I stood up for random girls because it's their comfort. As a citizen, as a human, I'm supposed to respect their decision, right? Yes or no? How many of you believe?
Yes.
We're supposed to respect what they do. It's not like they're making us uncomfortable, right? It's them. Let them be. If you want to laugh, just go somewhere and laugh. Why do you want to say it in front of their faces and laugh? I stood up for them, and that made me feel good. Though I stood against my own aunts, it made me feel good. It made me feel a good human being. So, like this, guys, think about something you had done, or you have done like this before, like act socially responsible. And let's talk about this more in the meeting later. I'm gonna ask every one of you, each and every one. I'm not gonna give anyone. I'm gonna ask everyone in the meeting, including the G. Okay, I'm gonna ask everyone, make sure you have a small story, like your own personal touch. Because this is social responsibility, isn't it? So we're socializing here. So social responsibility is our theme. Let's socialize more by adding a little personal touch. Okay? So let's start off with our first session because it's getting late. Before calling out our first speaker, let's call out her evaluator. He's from NITK, passionate Toastmaster, currently working for electric two-wheelers company, also Associate VP Education, currently in NITK Toastmasters. Let's welcome Toastmaster Ramdas Bhatt.
Thank you, Toastmasters. The purpose of this project is for the member to develop and practice a personal strategy for building connection through networking. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of her experience of networking. Allowable time is 5 to 7 minutes. Thanks.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramdas, for explaining the project guidelines of our first speaker.
And moving on to our first speaker, she has a very lengthy introduction which I'm going to cut short, make it short and sweet. So our first speaker for the day, she is the area director for A3. She's the past president of MCC, and she's also an LEP graduate and event chair of MPARC 5.0. So you get my flow when I say her introduction is long. So please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Sakshi. I'm sorry, her speech title is Network is Net Worth.
Network is net worth. If you would have asked me this, say 5 years before, the only answer I would have given you is, it has no worth. It is absolutely useless. How many of you have felt that network building is useless? At any point of your life. Let's be honest, I myself have felt that. From the phase of me feeling it was useless to the phase of me actually wanting to build my network every single day, I'll share 2 stories with you. The first story is, when I was in PUC, I just passed my 10th and I was told you have to join a college. I said, I know I have to join a college, but what do you mean that you might make plenty friends who are not going to be your friends? That was the dialogue I was told. I went, I gave my application in a lot of colleges. The first thing that my parents told me was, why don't you try going for a co-ed college? Imagine your parents telling you join a co-ed college. I said, no, it's fine. I've always been in an all-girls school. I'll be in an all-girls college also. It won't make a difference to me. My brother says a voice from behind. Do you think she's capable of making friends who are guys? And I just looked at my brother and I just did not know what to say. And that's when he told me, you know, right, guys are going to body shame you. You're fat. You're a buffalo. To be very honest, if I had to learn animal names, it was because of my brother. He named me every possible animal I could say. So I took that up as a challenge. I tried going in for a co-ed college. My father paid also almost the entire fees over there. And within 2 months I said, no, I'll go to an all-girls college. Please come and pay in Mount Carmel. Now the reason why I said that was because of my fear. Because I didn't want to network. I did not want to make new friends. I wanted to just be in my shell. Like how always you see a tortoise in their shell, right? They come out very rarely. And I was that. I completed 2 years of my PUC in an all-girls PU college. And I was told, you have to do your degree now. Come out of your comfort zone, join a college where you'll get to meet people, you'll get to make a connection. I said no, I'll go back to Mount Carmel Degree College, which was the worst decision of my life, to be very honest. Now, why was it the worst decision? Is because I was put into a classroom where everybody, all the girls, just wanted to backtalk about everyone. They did not want to build connection. And that's when I said,
let me look out for something where I can actually build my network, where it will help me to grow, it will help me to actually find the best abilities of myself. And that's when I remember I met the then president of Mount Carmel College, Toastmaster Sumedha. Sumedha Di was that angel and miracle of my life that actually got me to join Toastmasters. So I joined Toastmasters, and again that's when I heard a lot of criticisms from family saying, why are you joining it? Why are you wasting money? And to be very honest, the money that I wasted over there was to build my network. And that's what I tell my family. If you feel that was money waste, I feel you going out for dinners wasting plenty of money on just random people coming and taking them for dinners is waste. My cousin brother was a Toastmaster for a certain period of time, so he was very supportive towards my decision joining Toastmasters. When I joined Toastmasters, my network was zero. I just had 3 friends named Suhani, Chelsea, and Sharaya. That's it, 3 of them. There are only 3 friends. But today, if you ask me after joining Toastmasters, how many friends do I have? I can tell you a minimum list of 25 people. That's where I started building my first network after joining Toastmasters. The second is, I was just sitting and one random day I got a call from our current district director last year saying, there is MPark that is happening, would you want to take up MPark event chair? And to be very honest, I felt that I could take it up but I would not do justice to it. I took up that role, and during the entire year of MPark 5.0, I think the only thing that helped me to bring in a lot of sponsors also with the entire team was my network. We got in Monster, we got in Ferns and Petals, we got Smash. These were the main 3 companies that we got in at that point of time. Now, how could I get that? Only because of the network that I actually built through Toastmasters and through a few of my mutual friends. To be very honest, today if you ask me the same question, that is net worth, I would say yes. It is 100% more important for us to keep building our network, because you never know at which point of time would you require which network. Yesterday, if you would have told me, Sakshi, if you met with an accident, would there be anyone for you? I would have told no. Today, if you ask me, I can loudly say in this room only there are 5 people who will come and call. And that is why it is important to build network. This network build that I did in the past 2-3 years has not only given me best friends, but has also given me people who I can trust, rely on, and also know that they can help me get a job even if I'm jobless today. Toastmasters brings that important element in our life. So that's why I always say, if I have a good network today, it is because of Toastmasters. And I would thank Toastmasters every single day, because I wouldn't have not been able to build such a good network if I wouldn't have taken that decision of joining Toastmasters, going against my family. So that is why always I would say network is worth it. And we have to get that net worth by ourselves. Over to Tia.
Wonderful speech, Toastmaster Sakshi. I am very, very inspired right now to make network as my net worth one day.
And I agree completely with Toastmaster Sakshi, because here is a bunch of people who are in college, and here are a bunch of people who are out of college, and we absolutely realize the value of the network that we build around. So moving on to the second speech, and before we go to the speaker themselves, I would like to introduce the evaluator, Toastmaster Dia.
Oh, you have?
Yes, the information network is pretty quick here. So Toastmaster Dia is the VP membership of the MCC Toastmaster Club. She is a 3rd year home science student, and I would like to invite her to give the parameters of the speech.
Thank you. My
see project 1. The purpose of this very project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. With this, break a leg and back to the teams.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dia. Okay, our second speaker for today, he is a product manager at Prato, dabble at many things but master at none. He loves to draw and paint, and especially charcoal drawing. His favorite hobby is playing football and badminton. Recently, he quit his job to focus on other personal things. My mom would slap me for this. Okay, so other personal things like communication. He likes to pick up new things every 3 months and currently learning Japanese language. Konnichiwa. Let's welcome Toastmaster Aditya. Toastmaster Aditya, don't give up, Toastmaster Aditya. Sorry? Afterwards? It's okay, don't give up.
At a very tender age of 12, I endured an unforgiving daily routine. I used to wake up 5 a.m. in the morning to go and practice a rigorous physical training. And after that, by 6 a.m., I was back to my dormitories, meticulously getting dressed up for my classes. High-end uniform, polished shoes, shining in the sun. But luckily, these classes ended by noon, interspersed with breakfast and lunch. By 3 p.m., I was back again for my next adventure, but this time it's pursuing my hobby. I love to paint, and by 5 p.m., I donned my sports uniform, eagerly waiting for this hour of field sports. And then followed by study hour, and then dinner, and then finally lights out by 10:30 p.m. This daily routine is the hallmark of Sainik School, is what toughened me up. I joined the school back in 6th grade, and by 9th grade, I was the top 3 marathon runners in the school. It was the month of December, and we all knew what was coming, the athletics competition. A week-long excitement and break from our usual routine. With just 3 weeks, we had to prepare. And I was enthusiastic and overly confident about it because recently I've won my 7-kilometer marathon race. With this overflowing confidence and enthusiasm, I went and registered for the track events. And this competition is no joke because the squadron with the highest points would win the coveted cup and end up in the newspaper article. A proud moment for the winners. I, on the other hand, having registered for multiple events, my squadron put their hopes on me, saying that you would win the cup. Yes, I want to. With just 2 weeks before the competition, while everyone was rigorously training and strategizing, I, on the other hand, was chilling because of the confidence that I recently won my marathon race in the fast forward 2 weeks. The first day of the event opened up with an exciting 400-meter race. I joined with 7 more of my athletes at the starting position. I was one of them, wearing blue jersey representing my squadron. Running locks, get set, go! I surged up ahead and the commentator started saying, "Blue team in a clear commanding lead." That pushed me even further. But by the third 100-meter, I ran out of gas. And the red team was closing upon me. And by the final leg of the race, the commentators closed the ceremony saying that 400 meters was won by the red team followed by yellow team. While I, on the other hand, ended up at 7th position. Disheartened, I left the ground, blaming the field because it was freshly made. With another 2 days left for my next event, I still did not practice, nor did I strategize. The 4th day opened up with the 800-meter race. I joined another 12 members at the starting line. This time, ignoring my seniors' advice to conserve energy at the beginning of the race, I stuck to my old strategy. And I finished bottom of the race. And next event was 1200 meters the same day. I had to give up in between because I felt embarrassed that I would yet again get placed at the bottom. Now I contemplated to give up my final race, the most prestigious one, the 5,000 meter race, which is also called in our terms Mercury Cup. As I contemplated with this decision to withdraw myself, my seniors, my friends, they encouraged and motivated me, recognizing that I just needed a top 5 finish in order to win the championship cup. And their unwavering support has kept my determination and the hopes of winning the cup alive. It was the last day of the event. As the sun set, the entire gallery was glowing up with energy from people, students, lecturers, everybody, supporting their favorite squadrons. With 35 participants and 12.5 laps ahead, I learned my lesson. I was composed. I started my race slowly, gradually making my way up from the bottom. At lap 5, I was at the 10th position from the bottom, undisturbed. Employing my strategy, marathon strategy that I knew very well, I maintained my pace for the next 3 laps before I wanted to push harder. By 8th lap, I was in 15th position while others slowed down. As I entered 10th lap, I felt a searing pain in my abdomen, but I didn't give up. I kept pushing forward, despite my lungs burning from inside and the blurry surroundings. I could hear the voice of people chanting my name from the crowd. And then I entered my 11th lap. My body was swaying, and it's very heavy for me to carry this body forward. But these voices spurred me on. I somehow managed to reach 8th position. By now, exhaustion has engulfed me. The only thing that was pushing me forward was the hope that I would reach the top 5 positions from top 8. I kept on moving. I entered the last 300 meters of the race, where at this point, I saw the first place finish, which again made me contemplate to quit this time for real. But then one thing stopped me. My friend's voice in the back of my mind saying that I would do it, that all hopes were pinned on me, and when the moment comes, I would raise up to the opportunity to not let the team down. Determined to not let them down, I closed my eyes, and this acted as a catalyst. I closed my eyes, focused my energy, and released a fierce sprint, overtaking multiple competitors on the way, and then I crashed. The next moment was my friends helping me while I was balancing on the podium. Yes, I won the bronze medal. A top 5 finish and secured the championship for the team. In life, we tend to become overconfident and lose track of our goals and objectives. While it is human, it is necessary to maintain a balance between self-assurance and humility in order to get sustained success. And don't give up. Life may throw multiple challenges at you, but you never know. You might find the perfect person at the 11th time trying to push you, to give you that motivation that you need in order to succeed. So don't give up. Back to you, Renu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya. That part when you close your eyes, you feel your energy, and you do this, it's quite like Oppenheimer for me. Okay. So, and yeah, I would never give up, as I'm also like a little bit of sportive person. If gym is sportive, yeah, I'm not gonna stop with 50 kgs. Let me go hit 100 from tomorrow. So yeah, let's get back to the theme. Do you guys remember that I asked you to, tell me what is social responsibility according to you with a small personal story? Okay, so let's start with Toastmaster Saurabh. Could you please? You can stand there, here, anywhere.
Okay.
I'll stand here. So all of you have been speaking about social responsibility, whether it's being waste or whether it be helping people or whether it be contributing to the society in our own special way. But there's one thing that people neglect. It's not just about people or the pollution or our surroundings that might or might not help us or the people around us. Sometimes we just don't care about the creatures around us and we only look at, oh, familiar face, let's help him. This happened in my 11th grade. I was walking along with my uncle and I saw the corpse of a pigeon on the road. And for some reason this thought struck me, okay, I felt very bad about it because nobody cares about a pigeon. You see a person dying on the road, you see dogs dying on the road. And by the way, this was in Qatar, not in India, so there's a slight perspective difference over there. So when I saw that pigeon, for some reason it struck me that I believe that no matter if you're a man, if you're a dog, if you're a cat or whatever you are, no living being deserves to die on the road. No living being deserves to get tread over by feet of other living beings. No living being deserves to get run over by machines, etc. So I asked my uncle one question, even though the answer was no. Can we do something for that bird? Can we bury it? And the answer was resounding no. So a heart struck me, okay, if I can't bury the bird, at least let's not get our hands dirty. Let's do one thing. Can we take that bird and drop it under a tree that was lying beside the road? So he was like, okay, we can do that. So he gave me 2 tissue papers. I picked up that bird and I put it beneath the tree. And at least let its corpse decompose into the soil and become new life is what I was hoping for. So I still do not know the fate of that bird, but I'm hoping that's what happened to it. So as a catalyst, my uncle spurred me on and he told me one thing, you really are something else. And that was reward enough for me. And I believe that at the heart of every social responsibility is the inner satisfaction that you get that keeps pushing you toward more social responsibility. Like whether you get a reward or whether you do not, sometimes this is enough to help us keep going. That's it from my side. Thank you.
You're very kind, Toastmasters. Toastmasters, would you like to share something?
Social responsibility to me is, as you said earlier, it is his to his, her to her. It is a very personal, subjective matter. We all have been talking about responsibility. Yours was a wonderful example. If you ask me my own example, I have told this in my club many a times. One of the social responsibilities which I have taken up is to create awareness about mental health. The personal example or the personal tragedy or the personal experience which I had was of a student like you guys, a graduate student calling me up very early in the morning, 4 a.m. to tell, hey, would you listen to me, ma'am? I said, who are you? What's your name? And she said, you don't teach me, but I want to talk to you. Will you listen to me? So I said, yeah, go on, because at that time the only thing which I felt was somebody needs to listen to that child. And she said, I do not want to live anymore. And 4 a.m. in the morning, that too in Dehradun, very cold month of January. And I said, okay, fine, good. Why don't you want to leave? The only reason I wanted to put in a spring in there was to cut out the seriousness of the entire issue. Because she was really imploring that I don't want to live. And then she said that I am not being allowed to sit for my placements. And she was an aviation engineer. Okay? I said, why? Because I don't have the necessary CGPA. I said, it's okay. Then I kept on talking to her about what do, what do your parents do, and things like that. Ultimately, I understood her father is a farmer who has taken a huge loan to put her into a wonderful college and things like that. And she says that if I am not able to get placed, what do I tell my dad? How do I show my face? I said, okay, fine, if you take your life, what does your dad do? Where do you show your face again? And where do they show their face? And I kept on talking to her till I heard a click in her room, I could make that a door was open. I said, fine. I said, somebody's coming to your room, right? She said, yes, my roommate. I said, where was she all night? As a teacher, that's the thing which comes up, right? And she was in the next room. I said, okay, give the phone to her. So I told her, you are roommate? Yes. I said, please be stay along with her. I'll come by 7:30. I'll be in her hostel. So that was the story. And before she cut the call, I would not like to name the student. I never named the student. She just said, please don't raise this complaint to the student directorate. I put full faith in you, and I had given you the call at 4 a.m. in the morning. By the time I put the call down, it was almost 6 a.m. in the morning. But I did reach her hostel. I did talk to her. Today she's sitting in NASA. Right? Very young budding engineer. But this is what spurred me as a social responsibility. I realized that youth needs to know that you are tremendously powerful and you have got unique capabilities. You know, sometimes we lose out, but somebody is required to listen to you and push. That was my responsibility.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suparna. Now I know I can call you at 4 a.m. and the next moment I'll be sitting in NASA. Okay. Can we have the guest? The guest? Can you tell your personal story about social responsibility and your belief on it?
Sure. So during the course of working, there was a small kid who used to come and take care of my daughter. After she was actually the sister of the security guard of our apartment, and we learned over a period of few weeks that she had a couple of holes in her heart, and if not treated immediately, she would actually die. And that kind of really gave us that kick in the backside, saying that if she's taking care of my daughter, she deserves to live. And me and my wife, Dr. Payal, we put in all our efforts to bring in the funds that are required through the network, okay? And that network of people, thanks to each and every one of them, I would not want to quantify the amount of contribution that each one of them made. I'd also like to thank Dr. Devi Shetty and his entire crew and team of Narayana Hridyalaya and the cardiologist who actually operated on her. She lives to survive and see another day. So that was one of many, and since there on we didn't stop, and we take every opportunity to help to whatever extent we can. Thank you.
Okay, can we have a new member of MCC Toastmaster? Like anything. Makeup from a makeup person.
It can be something that you have experienced, it might be something that you have seen. It can be anything of that. Anything of that.
Anything. You have seen in college or outside, anywhere.
You know what, we'll give you a moment. We'll finish the table topic session and we'll come back to you. Yeah, you can be prepared. We'll give you that much time.
Okay. So, as a Toastmaster, the co-Toastmaster of the day said, we'll move on. We'll move on to the table topic session that will be conducted by our table topic masters. Table topic master Cycle. Table topic master Cycle. He's a passionate musician, a former quizzer, and a dancer. He's currently working as an equity research analyst and financial consultant. He's also, he has also had the honor of serving as VP Education and President of NITK Toastmasters Club in previous terms. Let's welcome our table topic master, Toastmaster Saikat.
And along with Toastmaster Saikat, given that this is a liquors meet. We also have Toastmaster Shrishti. She is a third year BCom student. She's a conniving girl who enjoys playing chess and binge watching. We share binge watching, by the way. So please give a very grand welcome to both our guests.
Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters, dear Moody's, and welcome guest. Most wicked persons are here. Now this is wicked 2.0. We came together. Nobody likes the table topic masters, right?
Because we pinpoint everyone to come
Right.
on stage.
So why table topic is important? As a whole, not only from Toastmaster point of view, as a whole.
So that you be confident enough in speaking in front of everyone like spontaneously.
Anyone else? A holistic point of view.
Thinking
Thinking?
quickly.
Okay. Anyone else?
Deal with any unexpected situations.
Everyone is talking about him or herself. As a holistic, I ask, what is the holistic view of table topic? Yes. Networking is one of the important part of table topic because everyone's specs are different, right?
Yeah.
So we are sharing our thoughts. My perception is different than you. So this is also networking, and we are, as a whole, we are sharing our thoughts with each other. So now we are heading towards the table topic session. Be prepared. I see a lot of faces they are hiding somewhere. So this time we are making little bit different. We'll throw the topic, but with the tricks.
So the first part of table topic session today will be a normal traditional way of table topic session where people can volunteer or we can use our power as table topic masters and pick any one of you from the room. And the second part what we are trying is we'll have a tiny debate. So yeah, we'll have a for and against. First, let's begin with our traditional table topic session for today. Can we have a volunteer?
Yes.
Sure. What do you think is the major change required in society? What do you think is the major change required in society?
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Preeti and I'm from MCC. So the major change that I think is required in the society, I think I'm still too young because I haven't seen half of the world, but my personal opinion is that I feel, especially this generation, if you all will agree with me, we are depressed, one. And second, I feel like a lot of people judge other people a lot and we tend to, so suppose someone throws a tantrum, we get offended, we're like, oh my god, how can they talk to me like that, etc., etc. But I feel if you just think about them, like, okay, they must have gone through something today, they must have had maybe their dog passed away, or maybe, I don't know, something horrible happened to them and that's why they threw that tantrum. If we just, think from the other person's perspective and, not always blame someone for being a certain way towards you or think that everything is directed towards you because honestly nobody cares about you as much as you care about yourself. So I feel like if we stop judging people and if we stop, thinking that people are always rude to us, people are always, negative and all of that, I think the world would be a much better place. Society also, I think we could, we won't be depressed all the time and think about, how we can get better, how we can, upgrade and progress. So that's my personal opinion and yeah, hope I made sense. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech, but actually your opinion did make a lot of sense. Okay, can we have our next
on philanthropic.
Then I'll give you another topic.
Share your experience on community volunteering. Share your experience on community volunteering, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Hi everyone, I'm Anju. So the question is, share my opinion on community volunteering towards social responsibility. I would say that it starts from a class, from a person. So I will give an example of what we are doing in my class. I would consider that as a community for now. So we as a class have decided to contribute something towards the society in the end of each semester, because we do spend a lot of time having fun, a lot. We spend a lot of time pubbing, clubbing, all those stuff. We do hang out a lot. We do everything except of helping others. Most of the time we ignore a lot of people on the street who deserve to be respected, who most of them don't, which is really bad. And if we as a student start getting on together and helping a little, at least we have samosas each day, at least in my class. 30 rupees each day is a big deal, but if even if you take that money for 3 days and give it to somebody, it's going to make a big difference. So I would say that it starts from the place you are. I am a student, so I would say class. So if you're working or anything else, it starts from the place you are. So yeah, thank you.
So can we have our next volunteer?
Yes.
Here topic is, it's not a topic, basically it's a situation. You have invited your male or only female friends and you're having a party at your place. You've invited them, but they forget that it's only for you guys and they get their family also. So what will you do and how will you manage the situation?
Okay. Firstly, I would feel a bit awkward for real, because the same thing happened to me during my birthday. It was not I invited my friends. The budget was for 5 people, and one of our friend, she brought 3 of her friends. The budget became more, and my mother was like, you planned for 3 and there are so many people. So basically, when they came, first it was a bit awkward for me, but the time we spent was so memorable, because it's like more people, more memories. So for me personally, first it was awkward, but then it was so fun remembering my birthday. So, and that time we were not in touch with that people who was not invited. But now when I'm in a hostel, they used to call me, ask about me, how are you doing? And I think in today's world that question is more important, how are you? So that was and I personally thank my friend for inviting them in my birthday. So don't feel awkward having more guests in your home.
Same thing happened to me, but as a male, this party knows, so we added something else. It was a awkward position indeed, but we managed quite nicely. Now we'll go to NITK style table topic. First I'll give the topic, then I'll call the person. This is what we are doing, we are practicing in an NITK, so think to brainstorm about the topic. I can call anyone. ESG, anyone heard about ESG?
Environment, social and governance.
Yes, you are right. So do you think the corporate follow the corporate social responsibility ethically? For this, I would like to call Toastmaster Bhan.
I knew you would call me. Thank you so much, Rekha. So whether corporates follow this or not, yes they do. I have an opinion of 50-50. I mean, at the back of the stage, it's different. On the front, it's different. So ESG, when they want to follow this, on the front, yes, we all do. But at the back of the mind, when you set a stage to perform these ESG activities, yes, we all volunteer together, even though you're not called. We do that responsibilities very well and then leave. So when you're not invited to that, when you find a bottle, when you take a bottle, drink it, you just throw it away, and then you walk. So that is the attitude that people is having, is what I think. That should be changed, and we should take a note for these ESG activities and make a contribution towards the environment. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bhanu, for this explaining what is ESG and how we'll go ahead with this responsibility as a corporate, or what is our responsibility. Now we'll start the debate kind of thing, because we are running out of time now. So we'll call one member each from NITK, from MCC. We'll call from.
Okay. Can we have Khushi?
From NITK.
So the person, I want you to be there in this event.
I would like to call Toastmasters Superman.
I'm not the right person to be called. What is the
Okay, so the topic for both of you is space exploration a worthwhile investment for humanity? Who's gonna go for it again?
The time allotted for this 3 minutes, you can go ahead. There is no specific time, 1.5. You can both can speak. Total time allotted 3 minutes. The grace period of 30 seconds.
Okay, space exploration, is it really worthwhile in today's world? I'm not so very sure, because as a very skeptical person, when I look at the whole world, I see there is a developed group of countries and there is a developing group of countries and there are underdeveloped countries, right? Now when you look at the underdeveloped countries, you open their layers of their society and you see suffering there. Children suffering, mothers suffering, there is no proper food, there is no proper environment, there is no drinking water, basic things. Roti kapda makan nahi hai. It's just not there, right? And here there are these developing countries who are spending millions and billions of dollars into reaching into the space. Do reach out to the space. It is required to know the last frontier of what the universe holds for us. But at the cost of humanity is something which I do not understand. Even India going on to Chandrayaan, wonderful. We are tom-tomming that we are into those developed layers of the world. But then what's happening in Jharkhand? What's happening in the interiors of Karnataka? What will happen when rains don't come in Gulbarga? What happens to the innumerable amount of farmers who are dying? Ethical question too.
Okay. Ma'am's main point was you need to first focus on humanity and then you need to think about space. First of all, we are so populated, we'll not have a place to live in this whole world. We need another Earth to survive. Will you find that in Earth? Of course not. You have to go find it somewhere else. And second ma'am point was money. We do not. Have you seen India's Chandrayaan? What was the money that India used? 5 something crore, right? Even one movie, whose movie that the guy who makes, his movies will have so much. So if you're going on space, finding something that is for you, that is okay. Ma'am's third point was that you need to focus only on, certain areas. Everyone who doesn't have problems, that has to be focused by someone else. There is another problem which is of space, which has to be focused too. Everything is important. Like you come to college, if you study only maths, you can't survive. You have to study another subjects also, right, to survive. If you study full maths, will you survive? Will you survive? No. You have to.
You don't need maths everywhere. You don't need space everywhere also. You don't need maths everywhere. I'm so sorry to tell it. Please correct your knowledge and information both. Okay. Equally like that. Space as a frontier needs to be conquered only when you are ready for it. When you have taken care of the basic amenities that you govern. If you are sitting in a governing position to take decision that I will pump so many millions of dollars, then take care that the entire span of the society is also ready to accept that. That's my only point of understanding. Or cut down. Chandrayaan was a good example. Compared to a Western world, our costs were much, much less. We spent about 1/3 the cost than what a Western world would do for a same moon expedition. But we did it at lesser cost with good technology, which is absolutely economical. But still, I feel humanity as a whole, we need to work. Each person can become a catalyst for that, not forgetting that we shall bring about change with social responsibility. Space also we need to know. I'm only telling, don't put so much in there. Put much at the bottom.
Oh, that was an amazing debate.
No, this is a learning process. We learn from the seniors, we learn from the fellows. This is the things. That is why I called. So it's time for the next topic. Okay.
The next topic is high-rise apartments or individual house. Okay.
Call from.
Can I have Nidarshana?
From NITK, I would like to call Toastmaster Ramdas.
Who's gonna go for it?
Apartment or individual house?
Okay. I lived in a high-story apartment, not very high, maybe 2-story building only. Still 5 people living in one complex, imagine. In one house only 3-4 people is so difficult. And in one building there are 25 people with 25 opinions, extremely difficult. If the cover water comes problem, cover water doesn't come as a problem. If power cut is there, problem, power cut is not there, is a problem. So it's a multiplication of numbers of people in the apartment. There's a headache. Recently we shifted to an independent house and cool. We are so relaxed. Any problem we fix. We don't have to blame somebody. or depend on somebody else to fix the problem. So I feel staying independent house is much better.
Honestly, I've grown up only in independent houses, and I always know that, you know, whenever I used to stay in independent houses, it would be like 1 or 2 houses next to my place, and I never got to connect with any, you know, young children who were my age. I always felt, you know, the absence of someone that I could connect to. So I feel in an apartment, if I would rather stay in an apartment, you know, with so many houses around, I could go and connect. And I'm also the only daughter, so it's very difficult to, you know, go and communicate to people. So I feel staying in an apartment is much better because I could get to socialize with a lot of people.
I agree with you because, you know, always the green looks better on the other side of the mountain. Right, I'll tell my experience in apartment. I have a son. When he was young, he used to go and fight with all the neighbors, and my wife used to go and sort out the problem. Of course, it's good for the children to go and play with all the children, but you can do that in where we live right now. It's independent house all, and there are many people who come on the road and they play. So to play, we don't need to stay in apartment. More of a headache of not letting our children go outside because they are so tempted to go outside. It's more of a headache for parents. I think.
I think it's not the playing part. When you stay in an apartment, I also feel that you get to connect with a lot of people, and especially if you have any issues that you're facing, or there's a sudden emergency, you can immediately connect to a lot of people, and there are so many people that you could reach out for help.
I definitely agree. We can always go to neighbors and look for help. But I joined Toastmasters. I don't need any help. Call up Kashi or Suparnaji or Setu for any help. They'll be always there. So it's okay. Apartment is not necessary only for asking for help. And as long as we are okay, we can go and help others as well. But we do not want help. Thank you. So both are good. I think each has its own benefits, merits and demerits. It's okay. So go to apartment, we experience that, and definitely we can.
This is the first time I ever seen that in a debate they are changing their shoes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry I came in late.
How much time we left for this session? Timer for this session, table topic session. This is, I'll not disclose the topic first. This is a very funny topic. You call in your phone, MCC. After this, I'll give another individual topic. This I'm covering. For this, from NITK Bhive, I would like to call Toastmaster
Sakshi.
Sakshi Sanjay. It's very confusing name. So your topic is, in our childhood, young days, everyone seen the comics, lot of things, right? Cartoon comics. Tintin versus Asterix.
You want Tintin versus Asterix?
Okay, I'll give another. You want to join?
Shinchan versus Doraemon.
For Doraemon.
Okay, Shinchan. Okay, so Shinchan was this kid who always was super excited and always loved hanging out with his 4 friends, that is Nani, Kazama, Masao and Bo. He had a little sister also, that is Himawari, and most of you might not know the story behind why Shinchan actually came into existence. It was because Shinchan and his sister Himawari were playing on the road, and Himawari went in between the road, like to the center of the road, and the car came crashed off, speeding, and Shinchan went to save Himawari, and both of them died in the car crash. So this is the story, and his mother, Shinchan's mother, that, if I'm not wrong, Mixie, yeah, was in the memory of them. She started drawing cartoons and comics and everything to honor them. Why I would not like to choose Doraemon is because, so Doraemon had this one kid called Nobita, and he used to always score less marks, and he used to go hide his papers from his parents. And when I was a kid and I watched a few episodes, I got inspired by true story actually. I went, and I guess in 5th grade or 6th grade I got really less marks, and I didn't want to show it to my mother. It was my midterms or something, and I went and I don't know why I hid it in her cupboard. And when my mom opened it, she found it, and I got, screwed after that. So the Shinchan is one happy story where he helps others, he lives in the moment, and his dance is something we all love. So Shinchan over Doraemon.
Why I would not choose Shinchan over Doraemon first? Yeah, because I cannot pronounce that. And second, if any kid sees that and starts dancing like that on the road, what will happen to the kid? Same as that fellow situation. So I will not choose. Now, why I will choose Doraemon? We sad, depressed kids half the time require help always. And if we have one Doraemon friend in our life, what will that friend do? Be a Doraemon and be one call away. Like for me, Saurabh. Anything, I call him, he is there. So he is basically mini Doraemon of my life. So if we watch, yeah, so cute. But if we watch Doraemon, what do we learn? We can reach out to people. If we have issues, reach out to them. Ask for help. Now, what moral are we getting from there? Only the dance.
Okay, so Doraemon, in that Doraemon, Nobita always depends on Doraemon for whatever small little inconvenience he has. So Shinchan shows how you can be independent, not depend on others. At 5 years of age, he
only knows how to eat Dora cakes.
He goes shopping for, to get vegetables or to get groceries, and he stays home alone at 5. How many of you have stayed alone at 5? No one, right? But confidently, and so obviously Shinchan is promoting independence, depending less other than Nobita.
So Doraemon is not only showing dependence, no?
He is.
Nobita at times is going to.
What is he using?
People?
Yeah, that is what they're showing. Whereas Shinchan, they're showing, all the friends are together, there is no fighting, there is no, violence. Whereas in Doraemon,
okay,
what if
people
are fighting with someone?
What if people are independent in that way of independence forget to share whatever they have in their mind or in their heart, and we have to lose someone?
It's not like Shinchan does not show emotions. Shinchan is emotional.
No, Shinchan, independent people don't show it.
You missed out one part, that when Shinchan's mummy is beating him, they're getting 3-4 potatoes. That part you missed out.
See, that is for teaching him discipline.
That means he's not a real.
That is also showing wrong, no? That you should not
stop
it.
Now,
but Nobita also gets help from his mother, right? Because
but he doesn't get potatoes.
He also gets potatoes. He gets potatoes.
it's a never-ending discussion on Shinchan and Nobita on Doraemon. So this is the last topic. This is very serious thing we missed out earlier. I'll call the name.
Yeah, please. What is your opinion on philanthropic responsibility?
Yeah, so for this I would like to call Toastmaster Atmika.
So after all the wonderful discussion on Shinchan and Doraemon, to a very, very, very serious topic, but philanthropic responsibility, I think, is a double-edged sword, because as I started out my presiding officer's speech, there is always a need for philanthropy, but how you get the philanthropy done, starting from where you get your funds, who are the people handling it, who are the people on ground, who is in touch with the community. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to philanthropy that we have to keep in mind and we do not kind of see. There are a lot of successful examples of where the philanthropy is doing the work it's supposed to be doing, and we have equal number of examples of the philanthropy not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So that's why I said it's a double-edged sword and it's a responsibility to be taken seriously. Initially, a lot of people did philanthropy with whatever little experience they had or their own personal experiences growing up and all of that. But thankfully right now a lot of colleges, universities, research spaces, people with experience are building spaces in which you can understand how philanthropy works, how to make it very effective. Because we also have to remember that in this day and age, philanthropy also needs to work like a business. So have the business mindset, but do good to the world. So that is the very, very fine balance, and I think that is where philanthropic responsibility comes into play. So, thank you.
She made this difficult topic so easy for us, right? Everyone understood. Thanks, Toastmaster Atmika, for explaining this nicely. Give a big round of applause for our timer. Every time she shown the rate cut to me and this timer to me, give a round of applause. So with this, we are closing this session. I hope we are not so weekend anymore, right? So we are closing this session.
With this, we sign off as Toastmasters,
Table
Table
Topic
Masters for today. Back to the
Thank you.
So thank you so much to both of our Table Topics Masters. You know, initially when we saw the theme of today's meeting saying social responsibility, it's a very heavy word. Like, you don't want to think about things like this, like especially on a Saturday. But thank you to both our Table Topics Masters for making it a really, really fun session for us. We have not forgotten you. So I would like you to share an example of social responsibility that you're doing.
It's nothing as impressive as with the others.
No problem at all.
And it's not something I did, it's something that happened to me.
Please.
So I'm staying in a PG. It's my first time away from home. And I'm a bit homesick. And over the past, this happened last week. So for a few days there have been small irritating things happening. And one day I was on call with my mom and all of a sudden I am having a meltdown. So my roommate, who I'm not that close with, after that she came and she talked to me and I was just very touched by it. So I'm so happy that she took her time and wasted it on me. So now for keeping her things on top of my cupboard without asking what bothers me.
I think that's a really good example. I mean, if people, as it was shared in the meeting, if we don't have people to come and ask you, say, how are you okay? And I think that's a big thing. It might seem like a small sentence, but it's a big thing for the person receiving it. So we need a couple of more examples to kind of keep this meeting going. And as promised, Toastmaster Veera, please share your example.
Thank you. So mine is in a completely different perspective, that whenever there is food on my plate, right, I always love to mix certain things which people think is not supposed to go together, right? For example, kesari and idli sambar together, and under the premise of saying I'll not waste food. So essentially what I'm trying to say is eat whatever you want, mix whatever you want, but make sure whatever you're having on your plate, you're finishing it off. If that requires you to mix even the extreme opposite of poles together, go for it, but let's be cognizant of food and let's not waste it. let's take whatever we need and let's eat that. So that is one bit of social responsibility that I think I've been doing so far. So yeah.
You don't like mixing of food together, right?
No,
Oh, you
I
like?
like
Do you?
it.
I mean, how many of you like chapati with tea?
What? I've never heard of this combination.
Nice. I mean, all of you have to try. It's just like chapati with Nutella or something, but this is Indian version. Tea, dip it, eat it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's too cool.
Were you in a hostel?
No.
So, I think you should learn something new every day, and today we know chapati with chai is a new combination. So, we would like one more person to share an example, and I would request our guest to share an example of social.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Sanjay Gupta. I was in the Indian Army, but I moved on later in my career for US Military Academy, Department of Defense. When I reached 47, they ultimately gave me one promotion. Let's not get into how soon you can get a promotion. After the promotion, I was a free man. So I came to Houston, Texas to settle down. They taught me community service with social justice. That's the same topic you're all talking. And all these cowboys are very tall. I'm the only Rajnikant in Texas country. Then my army friend said, no, you need to be more entrepreneurial and you start expressing things and do your own stuff. So I opened my first, with my pension money, I opened my first Madras cafe. It was a big flop. All the Chinese would come and use my place, and then they will pat me for being an entrepreneur. But they will say, no, your own community is so big, why they don't come? I have no clue. So I moved on, and they invited me to Warren Buffett's lunch and all, because now I'm a restaurateur. Even there, I thought I'm not going to fit in. Though I am an army service, Indian peacekeeping force is what we are. We are not about going to war in Ukraine. They make money by selling equipments for the war, and then everybody comes for buffet. And here I am to keep everybody calm and cool and be social and cheerful. So the clash is always there between the East and the West. Again, the Indian consulate called me and said, you just cannot have a South Indian restaurant. You need to have a chapati tea. They sent a Punjabi cook. Within 1 month, he made it into a Punjabi dhaba. All my South Indian clients stepped out, they never came back. Then somebody said, not somebody, the mayor of the city, they called me and said, we are having a lot of problems with Indian students. I said, no sir, I was also a student long time. I was not such a social menace. They said, no, we need somebody expert from India to handle this. So I opened a satsang. I myself had to get a gyan before I could preach. Chinese consulate called me next after 3 months. They said they were all very gracious when I went in. They stood up and then they asked me to have a seat, and they said, it's very unfortunate, we are hearing a lot of complaint from Asian girls. So I said, Asian is such a big area, so you cannot define who they are. No, it is your own satsang and the girls are not happy. Nobody came and told me they are not happy. The North Indian girls, they were tired of eating all the rice items. The Hyderabadi girls, they will prepare 6 different items throughout the day in rice only. So again, the consulate said, okay, whatever the expense, we'll bear it. You add one more kitchen, you make a North Indian dish kitchen and a South Indian. So like this, it keeps on dividing. Who am I? The Native American Indians come in. So you have 1.3 billion people and you're asking who you are? You're an Indian, right? Even Red Indians are Indians. So when you go 30,000 kilometers away from home, how different everything looks and how we divided we are the problem and issues we are facing today. So, though I'm next door to Mount Carmel College, none of you would have seen me there. My sister is a graduate of the same college and she was an excellent doctor, but she never stepped out of India. She's happy to be here with all the mixed culture, mixed tenure, everything. But now that I come back after 30 years, none of my neighbors are the same people whom I grew up with. They're all different from everywhere. Some wants chapati with chai, some mix idli with kesari bath. So even today I'm into restaurant business, but it's very difficult to get the customer in and get satisfied customers. Thank you. Hopefully I've explained my problem.
We have indeed been divided into rotis and rice. Okay, without any further delay, let's move on with our third session, that is the evaluation session, where our general evaluator will come up here and he will tell what we did good and what we did bad and what has to be improved in upcoming meetings. Let's welcome the general evaluator of today, Toastmaster Veera.
So much, Toastmasters of the day. Before I go ahead with the general evaluation, let's first hear from our individual speech evaluators. First off, I'd like to welcome Toastmaster Ramdas onto the stage for delivering Toastmaster Sakshi's speech evaluation.
Thank you, General Evaluator, dear Toastmasters and guests, and Toastmaster Sakshi in particular. Today's topic that you've chosen, networking to network, is very, very apt. We have so many Toastmasters, we have so many guests, giving a personal examples to share how Toastmasters can help improve our network. You shared two stories about yourself. The one story of your PUC and second your graduation. So you start saying that your parents wanted to put into co-ed and you had that fear and you mimicked what your brother was talking about you. You were so humble to share what he told about you. And the Toastmasters in MCC changed you. You respected the person's name. You took the name of the person, Toastmaster Sumedha. She came as an angel in your life and she brought miracle in your life. And how it changed you as a person from very timid, very shy person to a person that you are today, that we are seeing you in person. And the second example is where the past district director, I think it was Nipi, would have called you and she asked you to become a host for Empower 5.0, which is networking. And you shared examples of how the networking abilities that you have gained or experienced help you to bring in some sponsors for this program. So by sharing personal examples, we exemplified that yes, this is a place where which can help us to build a network, which will help the network. We've not heard of your network so far, but network is what we heard. I'm sure Toastmasters is a catalyst in your life, and I'm sure it will take you forward as well to next level as you utilize this forum. You took the area direct responsibility now, and wish you all the best to go to higher level in India or in international level. There's no limit in Toastmasters. So the first story was where you had no network, and second story is where you had network and you changed your life. So it is a contrast, I guess. So it shows that networking, Toastmasters gave you an opportunity to network. And as per the guidelines, you met all the requirements, you shared personal examples, value of network you exemplified, you gave personal strategy for building network, you covered that as well. There's one line saying that attending network event, maybe that Empower 5.2, I guess, maybe that event. How you can take your speech next level? Some two small suggestions I have. One is few words are not very clearly heard by me, especially you said Empower 5.0. It's not very clear what is it talking about. The last person sitting in the room should be able to hear clearly every word of a speech. That's one suggestion. Second is gestures. You used gestures, you also made, but challenge yourself. For example, said a shell, show as a shell, right? So little bit enacting more, because what we see is really having more impact than just the words. So enacting would take your speech to next level. So Toastmasters, I know that you're very humble. I've been in touch with you about the area activities. You have a natural smile, that's your strength. You have beautiful art of storytelling. When you're telling stories, I could see people, they're so absorbed in getting the message. Very nice. You have beautiful eye contact. You have very good comfort level. From the very first word that you spoke, you were very, very comfortable on the stage, and the topics were relevant. This is an event for Toastmasters and guests. Sharing with them the benefit of Toastmasters is very relevant. I really enjoyed. So please continue and make this as your biggest asset. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ramdas, for that detailed evaluation of Toastmaster Sakshi's speech. And let's quickly have Toastmaster Dia onto the stage for evaluating Toastmaster Aditya's speech.
I hate the word hope because I'm at the peak saturation of giving up at a lot of things, but simply hopes keeps me going. Toastmaster Aditya, I'd be evaluating your speech in form of bulletin points touching two areas of excellence, areas of improvement with a brief summary of all. Commencing with areas of excellence. You weave your story with very fine beats. Beat of description. Example, when you described your routine at the get-go, quoting, polishing shining shoes under the sun, getting ready, etc. Very novelly described. The bead of gesture was indeed charming. Example, when you switch the gesture when you used while switching roles between being the contestant on the track and the commentator, this is the gesture you used, was very beautifully delivered, thus adding more meaning and cutting the monotony of it. Moving on to the areas of improvement. The bead of suspense factor in tailoring your speech was somewhere unseen. Example, your race with red team, which you lost, could have used more suspense building, which in turn could have brought out the sarcastic factor as you lost after all that build-up, right? Another example would be when you won the bronze medal. Yes, not gold, but still, leaving a little room for suspense could have left a little more space for praise, as getting or achieving even the bronze medal is not a sin, right? Another area of improvement is the spicy bead of expression. Example, when you were describing the horror your body was going through as you reached the 8th lap, and your comrades or your friends kept motivating you by screaming, right? You could have used little more emphasis with that aggressive tone and your expression that, yes, go Aditya, Aditya, Aditya. That scream could have added more meaning to the energy that ignited in you after your comrades screamed for you, right? All in all, your final fabric was very beautifully weaved with the beads of description, gesture. Just embellish a little more by using these beads of suspense and spice of expression. I think you would go on to building even more finer fabrics or stories or speeches. Thank you.
That was a truly brilliant evaluation, Toastmaster Dia. Thank you so much. Let's hear from our timer for the day, Toastmaster Ananya, as in how well we are doing with respect to the time.
Toastmasters. So I'll start my evaluation from the SAA. So they took total of 1 minute and 30 seconds. And the presiding officers, Toastmaster Atmika and Toastmaster Shruti, they took a total of 4 minutes 45 seconds. And coming to the prepared speeches, speaker number 1, Toastmaster Sakshi. She took 7 minutes and 4 seconds. And the evaluation for the first Toastmaster Sakshi, Toastmaster Ramdas, was a bit over time, 4 minutes and 19 seconds. And coming to speaker number 2, Toastmaster Aditya, he was a bit over time, 7 minutes 44 seconds. And the evaluation for Toastmaster Aditya, Toastmaster Dia, 2 minutes 40 seconds in time. And coming to the table topics speakers, Toastmaster Preeti took 1 minute 28 seconds. Toastmaster Anju Jennifer took 1 minute 30 seconds. Toastmaster Mirzana took 1 minute 34 seconds. And Toastmaster Vishesh took exactly 1 minute. And coming to the debate, Toastmaster Khushi and Toastmaster Suparna, it was a bit over time. It took 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Nidarshana and Ramdas, it took 3 minutes exactly. And Toastmaster Smriti and Sakshi, it was a bit over time, 3 minutes 45 seconds. And the last table topic speaker, Toastmaster Atmika, 1 minute 45 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ananya, for that detailed report. Next up, I thought you were taking up the account role instead of Toastmaster Vishesh. I didn't know you became Toastmaster Vishesh. Over to you, Toastmaster Banu, for giving the account.
Thank you, General Navigator. So here is my report for today. Starting with Hiyamori Chandana. Here's your report. Use like 1 time, write 1 time, for 6 times, I mean 2 times. So coming to the speakers, Toastmaster Sakshi as well as Toastmaster Aditya. You literally didn't use any crutch words. Congratulations. And they were very good short and long pauses. Congratulations on that too. And our dear guest, Sudeep sir, you used for 15 times and okay for 1 time. That's okay. And coming to the table topics, Ramdas sir, you used you know. He's not here. He used you know for 3 times, and opponent for Ramdas sir, ma'am, your name please. Nidarshana. And you used you know for 7 times. And yeah, here is my report. Everybody very lessly use these crutch words.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Here from our grammarian, Toastmaster Suparna. Over to you.
So overall, I found the English to be pretty good today. You know, the MCC girls really rocked. Very good English. However, just a couple of corrections here and there. I think the smallest of the corrections which I heard, this network build, my understanding is she was trying to tell this network building, but then the words did not come out too clear. That was one part of the story. I was top of the 3 marathon runners. I was one of the 3 top marathon runners. And then remembering my birthday, recalling my birthday, right? We recall what's happened in the past. Other than this, I didn't find too much of a grammatical mistake, but very good usages. Angel of my life, tortoise in the shell, I ran out of gas, I was composed, lungs burning, and blurry surroundings. Okay? Voices spurred me on, fierce spirit, double-edged sword, be cognizant of food, leaving room for suspense. Final fabric was beautifully weaved. Usage of words put together was nice. And please use grammar as the catalyst for a good speech, always. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Suparna, for that great grammarian's report. So before I go on with the listener session, I'd like to give the general evaluation so that I can go and rest and we can all enjoy the listener session. So, first off, it was a wonderful meeting, so I'd like to request everyone to give a huge round of applause for all the role takers. Thank you. So, beginning with our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Bhanu. Bang on energy, very clear and crisp with the rules of the meeting, so loved it. Along with that, Toastmaster NITK again, you came up and spoke regarding the mission of Toastmasters Club, so thank you so much. Probably one small thing which both of you could have worked on is how you are coordinating with each other and how you are transitioning to the next one, which is the presiding officer. I knew that I understand there was a little bit of change in the last minute who was coming up on stage, but yeah, it kind of felt like there could have been a bit more smoothness there. Next came up our presiding officer, Toastmaster Atmika. Very well connected the entire team with Toastmasters, how it is going to connect in the introduction itself. So that was brilliant. And then came Toastmasters Smriti. Beautiful energy, nice way of introducing MCC as well as about the meeting theme. You welcomed all the guests who were there, and it was great having both of you on the stage. So one thing which I felt was missing was when first Toastmaster Atmika said, because she was the presiding officer, you could have probably just started with a sentence, I welcome you all for the meeting. So you you just directly jumped on to the theme, but yes, something like that to ease up the crowd would have been great. And also I think a subtle way of maybe including the meeting numbers of both the clubs together and opening the meeting together with both the POs would have looked great on stage. That is just one small thing to keep note of. Then our Toastmasters of the day, the rock stars, Toastmaster Atmika and Toastmaster Chandana again. The things that are beautiful. You clearly went on with the sections of the meeting. You knew what you were talking on stage. Even engaging the audience, Toastmaster Chandana, you had that one good engagement piece, asking everyone to share their own personal experience. That was very well done because people were all thinking about today's theme and they got a chance to reflect it. And also the transition between each of the segments, that was very well handled. Again, Toastmaster Atmika, one thing which I totally loved was your quick way of thinking and the one-liners that you brought in. So there was this one reply that you quickly gave saying, information passing happens very quickly here. And there was also a place where you were saying to Toastmaster Chandana saying, let me help you out here, and then you continued. Also, there were few places where things were kind of going like, okay, off track with respect to time. Thank you so much for reeling it back in and making sure everything is going smoothly. So, brilliant job done by both of you. You made sure the entire meeting was going smoothly, everything was stitched together, and we were all engaged with today's theme and the entire meeting. So, huge round of applause for both of you. Few things which we could have kept on mind. One, our eye on time, because we had personal stories coming up, but I kind of felt there were too many which we asked one after the other. Yes, I understand we have a huge number of audience, but we could have kept an eye on time there. And number two, the speech title and introduction of the speaker. The format that we use ideally is speaker's name, speech title, speaker name. It happened for one of the speaker, it didn't happen for the other speaker. That was one small thing. And also another subtle thing to just change or maybe spice up or flavor it up was what we can try is when we are introducing each of the speakers, right, or the role takers, the DMODs can probably take an extra effort of asking a simple question regarding today's theme ahead of time and collect all the answers and introduce the role takers in a way along with the answer that they have given for the theme of the meeting. So that would make it even more interesting. We get to know something special about the role taker. So that is one small thing which you can try. It's just a subtle suggestion. Also, there was a small thing which I noted was instead of using guys, we can use more professional word or a gender neutral term. So when we are addressing people. So yes, that was one small thing to keep in mind. Otherwise, great job. Next came up our speakers and evaluators. So again, both the speakers were evaluated in detail. Let me just give one liner for both of them. Toastmaster Sakshi, great structuring of speech, great way of including humor. One small thing which I noted was you very frequently use air quotes a lot, and it's okay to use it, but there were times which, so air quotes generally indicate when you want to say something sarcastic. You don't intend the real meaning of it, but you were using air quotes for my angel who came into my life and PUC. So places where those are using, they kind of take away the meaning of it. So just keep an eye on that alone. Toastmaster Aditya, it actually felt like a live show happening in front of us with the way how you were describing. Your voice modulation was fantastic. Small thing, I beg to differ from Toastmaster Banu. I noted that the pauses that you had were a lot. For example, your sentence was more like final leg of phrase, the commentators told. So there was a break. Same way, I joined with 7 more blue players, something like that. So your sentence could be even more smoother, the flow. Other than that, great job. Toastmaster Ramdas, I think we don't have him here, but very detailed evaluation, greatly pointed all the good aspects and also suggested the points which Toastmaster Sakshi can work on. What I felt was it was more of a summary of the speech for almost the first half of the evaluation, and then he went on with the actual evaluation, which I felt was not needed. If we could have focused more on structuring into what are all the great aspects, what are all the improvements that the speaker can work on, that would really make it work. Toastmaster Dia, loved your evaluation. So it was so beautifully structured. You had a code to open. You loved how the examples you gave, the attention to detail you had in terms of, you pointed this one particular thing was really great, how Toastmaster Aditya did it. Actually, the suspense factor point which you were mentioning, right? So I was thinking, okay, how do I phrase it in a way that I can tell it as a feedback? But you really put it in a very good way. The analogy was really well. So keep rocking. Maybe if I were to suggest one small thing, try giving an action item for the speaker to go and work on. Something which they can go and practice back and put it back in their speech. So whatever the suggestions we give, we are giving examples. How can they implement those examples? What can they do? What can they keep in mind for the upcoming speeches to keep it in a better way for the upcoming ones? So that is one small thing which you can try including from upcoming things. Our table topics masters, Toastmaster Saikat and Toastmaster Srishti. Very interesting topics, very good mix of different types of topics again. And I also loved how you intertwined the 2 different styles of calling up people on stage, and also loved the debate session. It was great. Just a general guideline for all the table topic speakers, I think we had different variety of responses today, right? So whenever we are coming up on stage for table topics, something which you all can remember is take that first 15-20 seconds of time for thinking about it. Always try to relate it with a personal story. And when you collect your thoughts in that first 15-20 seconds, it makes it easier for you to talk for the next 1.5-2 minutes in a very structured way. So treat your table topics as an actual speech. Have an introduction, have a body, have a conclusion. So that way your table topics will feel like a proper wholesome speech. And yes, last but not the least, our tag team. Great job done by all 3 of you all, Toastmaster Ananya, Toastmaster Banu and Toastmaster Suparna, during your introduction portion as well. During your reports as well, everything was crisp and clear. Toastmaster Ananya, one small thing which I noted was when you were showing the card, you can keep showing the card. It's not like you can flash it and give it back. So that way, even if the speaker didn't see it, when their eyes are turning back, they would see it. So one small thing. And if I recall correctly, I don't think you mentioned what is the time limit for the speaker, for the table topics, for evaluation. You could have mentioned it during your introduction. And in general, for the DAC team, always try and see when we are giving the report, is there a tip that we can give them? Is there a suggestion which we can give them to work upon their time? If somebody is going out of time, what can they do to come back? If somebody is using more ahs and ums, what can they do to try and bring it down? So these kind of value adds will really help the members focus more on it. Other than that, the entire meeting, right from the room organization, preparations, getting the role takers, coordinating everything. So kudos to both the club members, the ex-com people of NITK and MCC. Great job. And also beautiful choice of theme. As somebody was saying, on a Saturday evening, we would not want to listen to a topic like this, but you people made sure that the topic is really interesting and something which we all wanted to hear. So greatly done. I also know that food is waiting, so fantastic for that. Couple of things in general which we can keep an eye on. First, on-time beginnings. So I know that 2 clubs are coming together and many people will have to travel, especially Saturday evening, Bangalore traffic. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ramdas, for making sure, even though we are running late on time, he initiated that, okay, let's get started with whatever role takers are there. We wanted to start by 4, we started by 4:15 only. So 15 minutes is quite a big chunk. Let's make sure that we are starting on time. And a general thing for all the dual role takers whoever came up on stage is something, if you could have spent some 10-15 minutes ahead of the meeting in coordinating how your stage presence is going to be. Because quite often it felt like, okay, there was a lack in chemistry because somebody was talking something and then handing over to you and they didn't expect them to talk at that point of time. So probably a dry run or something, just quickly understanding how the flow is. I'm not sure if that was done. Even if it was done, great, but a little bit of coordination there would have made it great. And also, this is my personal opinion, so I'm free to take it. So what I felt was there were 2 occasions where we could have been a little bit more sensitive. Both were actually made as jokes in the light of making fun, but I felt that could have been bit more sensitive of what we are telling. What I noted was, one is there was a sentence which was ongoing, like the kid would have the same fate as Shin-chan. So that was one. And number 2, again, there was a story which was shared as an inspiration, as in not losing hope, and if we put that hope on it, they'll reach heights. So that was the story that was shared with the example of NASA. But there was again, I personally felt the comment which was made afterwards, where it said, okay, if I could call you late, early in the morning, I can reach NASA. So that I did not feel belonged in that particular occasion. I understand we could have made it as a very simple casual remark, but yes, something which we could think and say, because our forum, we value our very first core value, which is respect. So just being mindful of these subtle things will make the forum even more professional and enjoyable for everyone. That's it. Other than that, brilliant job done by all role takers. Love the entire meeting. Great job and all the very best. Keep rocking. Thank you so much. And I would like to hand it over to the listener for the day, Toastmaster Ishika.
That was a wonderful evaluation by the way. I've ever seen till now, till the meeting I've attended. So yeah, let's go on with the session for the listener thing. Okay, before I start, I would like to say that first come first serve. Alright, and I want to have a tiebreaker. Alright, so yeah. First question. With whom did Toastmasters Tandana go to Milano ice cream parlor in her story? Okay.
For aunts.
Aunts, no. A bit more precise. As the second one, anyone else? Bit more precise. I mean, it's partially correct, but then.
She said aunts first, but then she said auntie after.
Yeah, exactly. Alright. Good one. Okay, the next one. Why did Toastmasters Sakshi did not go or choose a co-ed college? Okay.
She thought that she felt that she would be young.
Yeah, there's one point which you missed. Yes.
It was unable she didn't want it to network.
Exactly. Kudos to you. Alright. Next. We don't have a tiebreaker, no? Alright, wait. Which were 3 sponsors bought by Toastmasters Sakshi in her speech? Smriti.
Monster, Smash, and Furnace.
Exactly. Okay, next. Who can speak Japanese?
No, I didn't raise my hand, sorry.
That's not valid.
It's not.
It's a mass answer.
It's fine. It's a mass answer. which color jersey was Toastmaster Aditya wear? Okay.
She can't answer.
Okay, yeah, she's the evaluator, right? Yeah, so sorry.
Blue.
Exactly. Alright, now who can beat Smriti? Let's see. Which race did Toastmasters Aditya give up? Distance. Yes?
The 800 meters.
Wrong.
400.
Wrong.
5,000.
5,000. Oh my god. 5,000. Yes, please.
1,500 meters.
No, wrong.
1,200.
Wrong.
Yeah, guess all the numbers possible.
Yeah. Exactly. Kudos. Alright.
500.
Okay. At what time Toastmasters Suparna gets a call from her student? Okay, I could see that. Okay, today's I guess there's no tiebreaker for you, so congratulations, Toastmaster Smriti, you have won this session. Thank you so much. Hand over to team mod.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Veera, for that, deep evaluation. We'll definitely look into the insights you gave us and we'll improve on from the next meeting. And thank you, listener. Listener, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Those questions were nice. And I would like to thank the table topic masters too. They had like a very good session. And if I'm gonna take up a table topic master as my role in the future, I'll definitely take some insights from that. Guys, remember, social responsibility is something that every human must have in him or her. As your Toastmasters space says, Warren Buffett, price is what you pay, but value is what you give. And that value is what you get from social responsibility. If you have social responsibility, you have value. So you don't. That's something everyone respects you through. So by saying this, I, Chandana, and Atmika would sign off as the Toastmaster of today. Thank you. Over to the signing officer.
Just one quick thing. You've all been given sheets in which you have to fill names. So if you need any help with names, please do ask the person sitting next to you. And please do take a couple of minutes to fill in and give the sheet back to Toastmaster Ramdas.
I tried my best. This is the first time I'm
Okay, just to remind everyone, the speakers were Toastmaster Sakshi and Toastmaster Aditya. The evaluators were Toastmaster Ramdas and Toastmaster Dia. And the table topic speakers,
Guys, newbies, please.
The table topic speakers, the individual speakers were Anju, Triti, Mirzana, Bhanu, Khushi and Suparna, Nidarshana and Ramdas, Smriti and Sakshi and Atmika. Then coming to the best role player, that is between the TMODs, the table topic masters, the general evaluators, and the TAGL, that is the timer, accountant, grammarian, and listener. So please cast your votes. We'll give you a time of say 1 minute. If you have cast, please raise your hand.
Listener's option is only not
It's
there.
okay.
Just pass it.
learn without being judged. And to everyone who have joined you, I think you have taken the right decision, and it's only going to catapult whatever you're doing forward. And I really like being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is my second Toastmaster meeting. I'm a friend of Veera's. We were planning to meet him today evening, and he called and just came here. So that's my story. And what I think is that I work in films. That's my profession. I work as a cameraman, cinematographer. That's what I do. When you see that people in the film industry, I was just remarking to him one day that people around me are like not too, what do you say, the right word, empowering. There's too much ego there. There's too much negativity around me and stuff. And the guys are also not very outgoing or not very smart. Not very smart, I think personally. So, but I have been part of engineering and stuff. So, what I was sharing to him was that I don't find a community where I can be myself. But when I see this community, it's very nice to see that there is so much diversity and there are so much very different people here, and so much outspoken and so much empowering who are trying to empower one another. And I particularly like this end evaluation. I didn't think he was going to do such a clear evaluation. For whatever I was here for this 45 minutes, and some of the observations that I made very partially was being so thorough with that. I like that. So it's very nice to be here today.
Thank you so much.
It was a blast being here. To be honest, I traveled today and I was still contemplating whether I should join a Toastmasters meeting. It's been a while since I have joined a Toastmasters meeting, and I felt it would be really taxing, but then I'm glad I came, because after witnessing what took place today, the organization, the kind of evaluations, the speeches, everything was all top notch, and it really gave me a boost of energy rather than draining it. I mean, if I may offer even a piece of advice, the Table Topics Masters, I would even like to have seen the both of you go on a debate. Maybe something you can take up in your next Table Topic session if you think about it. So I really love the energy. Like he said, the diversity is clearly visible. From talking about NASA to the US military, and a lot of regions covered right here in this room. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this, and good luck to you guys. Good luck to you people.
Thank you so much for everyone for being here, and for all the guests. We welcome you to attend more of our meetings, either NITK or MCC or next link.
And the thing is, if you go to the Toastmasters website, you can also put in your area and actually find which Toastmaster club is the nearest one to you in terms of distance, because this is Bangalore and time is money here. So you can find your nearest club in our Toastmaster website, and you have additional information. Anything, if you want to know what are these roles, what are we doing throughout, all of that information, you can reach out to any one of us, please feel free. Or if you want to go and check out the website first, you can also do that. It's a great tool of information that you can use. So I highly encourage you to use both, to talk to us and to reach out to the website at the same time. And also use the social medias, please. You can reach out, you can find a good amount of information in the internet and with all of us, and we would love to have you back, all of you back again. Sir.
How was my speech? I usually never get any feedbacks. Maybe I was too boring also at my age.
Sir, I think we get a value from experience. You have lived for so many years, you have seen so many things that I don't think all of us can experience, and we value that perspective that comes from you, and I think that's why Toastmasters is the way it is, because it takes from everywhere. So I don't think anybody will say you didn't have a great speech, or you did not give us the right kind of information. We enrich ourselves from all perspectives that we can get. So thank you for that, sir.
I joined Toastmasters in Washington DC about 25 years ago. I was a nervous wreck at that time. Until I opened my restaurant, then I came to know how I need to put up with my customers. Now I'm seasoned.
You're welcome back to join us, sir, and you can next level.
Thank you.
If we have, you can have Toastmaster Ramdas, but just let us know if he has the total. Okay, so even though this is not a competition, it always feels good to win. So we would love to congratulate everybody for their wonderful efforts, but we still do, we do acknowledge the merit in doing a really good job. So the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Aditya. The best evaluator, this is a no competition, it's Toastmaster Diya. Honestly, just give it a minute. Congratulations. The best, do we have a dual table topics master?
No.
It's
Table topic speakers.
okay, table topic speaker, okay. Best table, and how do I give it to myself?
You let it get out.
Yes, I did.
I leave.
Actually, yeah, but please wait. Congratulations.
The best role players is it like the TMODs. So can we please have Atmika and Chandra? Can we have a round of applause for all the members and all the role players who were here? The guests, everyone who showed up on a Saturday afternoon. We were very happy to host you, and I would like to say that we had a lot of fun, and thank you for having us here today. So with this, I declare meeting number 240 of MCC Toastmasters Club closed.
And I declare the meeting number 180 for NITK Bhive Toastmasters Club.